What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Manufacturing Muscle Podcast. I have two amazing guests with me today for a holiday special, answering your questions that you asked through the Google form that we had out there. Hallie and Rachel are with me today, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys, give a quick introduction. For those of you who don't know them, you should know them. Make sure to follow them on LinkedIn. But Hallie, why don't you start us off?
Sure, I'll just do a quick little thing. For anyone who doesn't know, my name's Hallie Haupt. I work for a company called IQ Manufacturing in Auburn Hills, Michigan. We are a job shop. We will cut anything from titanium to foam, and we do work for the aerospace, automotive, defense, and automation industries. We do a lot of one-offs. We do some production, but most of it is high-mix, low-volume work.
All right, Rachel.
I am Rachel Marshall, also known as the Lathe Babe. I work with my husband Luke over at Excel Machine in Pleasant Grove, Utah. I just do a little bit of everything. Luke is the head machinist, but we are also another job shop in Utah. We really, really enjoy what we do. Have a lot of exciting things coming on next year. We'll most likely be in full transition for our small business. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, so
that is awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I know everyone has been sending me messages on LinkedIn. Really excited about this special edition episode. So why don't we just get straight into it with some of the questions that you guys have asked. So I'm going to be reading off the screen here, but question number 1 is, what are the benefits you and your employees or you and your employers, I guess it should say, have seen from the investment into consistent social media presence? Go ahead, Hallie. Why don't you?
Okay, I'll start.
Or Rachel, anybody who wants to
go. I think one of the biggest investments that my employer has seen is just building up a reputation. When we first started, we didn't have much of a social media or presence at all. People knew who we were locally, but not how they do now. So I think that the biggest investment is that people know who we are, because we can walk into a trade show and someone will be like, oh, I've seen your stuff, or I know what you do because I see you on social media. And then another big investment is that our potential customers are out there too. We've gotten plenty of employees and customers from social media marketing. So it's all around a great thing, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
Rachel, how about you guys?
Yeah, really a lot the same. LinkedIn has been amazing for us as a job shop, just a small job shop where we don't have to take the time to go see and get our name out there, physically leave the shop and do that. It takes a lot of time and energy and away from the machines to do that. So the convenience of social media and having a presence, and really it happening so quickly, people getting to know us, now we even exist in Utah and outside of the state, absolutely amazing. And then we can build on relationships from there. Because, there's some posts that I do, they're kind of lighthearted, they're kind of fun, they get to know us on a little bit of a personal level as well. So we almost become just more like friends too in the business, and helps keep with those relationships too. And then, work coming in. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, you guys bring up kind of the main points of really what I think social media marketing is about. There's so many different areas of marketing. There's emails blasts, there's websites, there's ads, digital ads, there's SEO, there's what we do with this podcast. There's so many different ways that you can get out. There's print. People are still doing print. There's so many different ways that you can get out in front of your customers. And when it comes to marketing, I think what a lot of people assume is that you're going to put out one email blast and you're going to get one order. Whether it's a machine or whatever part of manufacturing that you're in. The company I work for, we're on the distribution side. So that's what we do. You guys would be like buying equipment from us. So people assume, oh, I put one email blast out, that means I should get one order or one lead in return. If I put out a social media post, that means in return I should get one call or lead or whatever. But I just want to encourage everybody to sit back and think about, you make a sales call. Does every sales call turn into a lead? No, right? Not every sales call turns into a lead. You hope that it does, and you're going to keep calling on that company and you're going to keep going in their door. But does that mean that cold calling and prospecting is a waste of time? No.
No.
And I think a lot of times we hear that with social media is, oh, it's just a waste of time. I did this and I did that and I didn't get any return on it. Well, it's the consistency over time. It's being out in front of your customers. It's exposing them to the products that you offer and your brand. And people by nature buy and sell from people that they like and they have an authentic relationship with. And bringing in social media is one way that you're able to connect with the customer on a deeper level. And I think you guys are such awesome examples of that, because not only, Haley and Rachel, are you guys doing it from a personal perspective where you have a very strong personal brand out there on LinkedIn, but you're always linking it back into IQ Manufacturing or Excel Machine.
No, and absolutely. And I want to add to that really quick because, Luke actually took a lot of marketing. His degree was also in a portion that was in marketing. And he's like, it's TOMA. I'm like, TOMA? It's all top of mind awareness. Like being on social media gives people that top of mind awareness that, hey, I'm still here. Hey, and you're keeping in tune with the things you're picking up on within your audience. What's a need out there that's still out there? What's that niche you want to get and reach? So keeping that top of mind awareness is super, super huge if you want to make sure to keep your brand out there and your name and whatnot. So social media can do that and is doing that. Absolutely. Make a couple posts a week, keep on that top of mind awareness. So it's a great marketing tool. It's amazing. Good investment.
Haley, anything you want to add?
I think the only thing I'll add is that you mentioned like email marketing and email blasts and stuff like that, which works 100%. When people say social media, like you're totally going away from regular marketing, I'm like, no, you can do that too. But I don't know how many times I'll get an email with everything I have going on at work, and I'll just like totally look past the email blast that people send me. So like there's other ways to reach people, like you guys have said, and social media is one of them. So keep doing all the regular marketing, but there's other ways to push it out too, other ways that other people are looking at all the time. So that's the only other thing I'll add to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in all for this question, benefits that our companies are seeing from all three of our presence on social media are brand exposure, increased leads, probably more traffic. I know we have a lot more traffic to our website, all kinds of things like that. People know who you are. People know your company now. And every time that they see you, they see the sales that are the products and services that you offer. So definitely invest in social media and do the best you can to stay patient and be consistent and kind of find your niche in that market. So moving on to the next question is, what are some of the drawbacks you have seen as being a woman in the social media space in what seems to be a previously male-dominated industry? So Rachel, I'll let you start with that one since Haley started last.
Yeah. I would say probably more in the beginning when I first started, but definitely there was maybe a few critiques always on what I was wearing more than anything. I'm like, why is it always the outfit? Like with men, are you picking on their cargo shorts? No.
Oh my God.
Why are my shorts a big deal? So in the beginning, it was actually kind of funny because the first critique I would always get is about what I'm wearing or not wearing, or am I being safe? So, but if it was a guy, you don't see that. So I just thought that was just kind of funny. They're just always looking at what I'm wearing. So in the beginning, it was a lot of that. But also, I just think not being taken seriously. Like, I'm just in this for influence. I'm just in this for something. But, well, yeah, I am in it because this is my business. And I take my work very seriously. And my only role is not social media. It's running a small business. I deliver parts. I'm cleaning bathrooms. I'm inspecting parts. I'm on the machines. Like, it's not my only thing, but marketing is something that we do need to do as a company, as a small business, keep our machines going, make sure people still know that we're out here and we can do the job right and we can make some good parts. So I'd say those are top couple things that come to mind.
So. Haley, go for it. I feel like you got a real a good
They're stirring in my head now.
I can see it in your eyes. You're like that one comment.
No, I think to piggyback off of like the what you're wearing thing, I don't think maybe people don't realize this, but like when I post like photos on social media of like myself at like another shop, they're like, those don't look like OSHA approved tennis shoes, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, first of all, I'm on someone else's, like I'm not on their floor. I'm like standing out the door, right? And like the front offices are where I'm at. Like I'm not on the floor. I don't need your OSHA approved tennis shoes. And when I'm at work, I have safety shoes and safety glasses on. Like, guys, come on. But I think one of the things that was a challenge was honestly like people were saying or made you feel like you didn't know anything, right? Like Rachel said, I was at a different shop before I went to IQ, but I was doing a lot of shipping. And when I would walk in there, I would get the dirtiest looks or the meanest comments. And it's like, why are you here? Why are you working for a shop? And it's like, why do you have so many questions? Like I can do and be whatever I freaking want. But yeah, I just think like people trying to test your knowledge because they automatically think you don't know something is probably the hardest hurdle to get over, and is another reason why me, and I know you guys do this too, you are dedicated to learning the stuff and talking confidently about it because you don't want to be in that situation where someone's testing you.
Yeah, no, I think you guys hit great points. I like to make this analogy. Cosmetology is a women-dominated industry. We can confidently say that. If there's a male hairdresser, I don't think I've ever been like, oh, do you really know how to cut layers? Are you sure you know how to bleach my hair? Are you sure? That they're embraced and we give them a platform. And there are so many male cosmetologists out there that are like famous on YouTube because of like all the fun things and the cool things that like women see them doing. And so that's kind of how I see it flipped to manufacturing is how come in a women's dominated space we say, okay, yeah, this guy wants to come in, do some hair, whatever, sweet. But the other way around is a little bit more hesitant. I think when I started in the industry, I'm a very like underdog mentality kind of person. So the way I always saw it, and I feel that I'll continue to see it, is that I'm just an underdog. And I like to prove people wrong. That's kind of like a thing that I have in my head all the time, all the time. And so kind of some advice with this statement because it does happen. Sure, you'll get weird messages, and I think someone sent us a question about that later on. But you'll get weird people saying stuff every once in a while, and it's like, no, we're professionals in this industry. We're having a career in this industry. We're out here trying to get more people in this industry, and I'm always going to go in with the mindset of I'm confident in what I do. I'm confident in what I know, and I'll let you test me because I'll prove you wrong of what your initial thought was. So it's inevitable. We're not going to change the world. Hopefully, one day we do, but overnight, no. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
I'm definitely the same way. Like if someone tells me I can't do something, I am gonna turn around and do it because you the doubt keeps me going, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely love that. Yeah, I just think the comments that, especially like the OSHA stuff and all that, and us being a small business, I mean, we don't have that person looking over us 24/7. We actually do have a lot of breathing room as a small business running, having this machine shop. But there's no way, Luke or my father-in-law would put me in any type of danger. They instruct me too when things aren't appropriate, and I'm glad they did. Like, okay, now I know, so their experience and their time with these machines. I mean, these have closed doors. They're not manual machines. I mean, there's just a huge difference in the environment you're working in, what's appropriate to wear and what's not so appropriate to wear. Mm-hmm. But we've been inspected plenty of times, pass the flying colors. I can't tell you how many times salesmen come in and be like, I can literally eat off your floors. This is like the cleanest machine shop I've ever seen. So, I mean, we definitely take safety and, proper precautions. We like to follow them. We're not ones to break the rules, but sometimes it gets hot. I'm gonna wear a tank top.
Yeah, girl, okay. Wear that tank top. Show off the muscles.
Wear my tank top.
Show off the muscles. For sure, for sure. So the next question kind of leads in with that one. It is the one that we were talking about. So it says, how have you dealt with / what your opinion on what somewhat odd comments and behavior that men respond to with regarding your content? I've seen a lot of comments, etc., that, in my opinion, are a bit unprofessional. From these men commenting more about your appearance or attempting to engage in more personal ways for some ulterior motive rather than being professional about the actual technical content being delivered. Do you think this is an issue and that it should be addressed? So in all, how do you handle the awkward comments? What do you think about them? And how do you think the issue should be addressed?
Honestly, I don't think there's a way
Haley, go
to
ahead.
stop it. Sorry.
No, keep going, Haley.
Honestly, I don't think there's a way to stop it. You can't, like, when they're behind a computer, like, if someone was in front of me and was to say that, I'd be like, hey, man, like, come on, that's not really appropriate question to ask. But, like, online, you can't stop it. There's always going to be someone asking that awkward question. And I guess it's just how we handle it ourselves personally. When I get weird questions, I'll just be like, have a great day. Like, like totally disregard what they say and still be kind about it. So I guess it's just how you want to, like, deal with it. But I definitely, like, yes, it should be addressed sometimes, but at the same time, you're not going to stop them. So you're almost sometimes wasting your breath being like, stop asking me these questions.
Yeah, Rachel, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely agree. It all depends on your reaction because I think the comment itself is going to speak about that person's character on its own. You don't have to say anything or add to it or give it any more attention. So it's just going to be, it is what it is. I'm a big advocate for freedom of speech. I don't think anyone should be limited by that. I just really think it all depends on your reaction to it. You can just take it professionally, let it just right off your back. But yeah, like Haley said, there's been times Luke has needed to step in though because that could affect our customers. Thinking like, especially the safety things. It's like we don't want people to think we're practicing unsafe practices here at the shop. So there's been a few times we've had to step in and those type of things. But as far as the lewd comments and things, I really don't pay much attention to them. I just more ignore them, and it just kind of is what it is. But their character, as far as that comment goes, is just gonna speak for itself. So think twice before commenting.
Hello, everyone. A quick interruption to give a special shout out to today's sponsor of this episode, Excel Machine. Excel Machine is a family owned job shop in Pleasant Grove, Utah, where they have both turning and milling capabilities. They will quote any quantity from 1 to thousands and have experience in machining with commonly used materials such as aluminum, stainless steel, plastic, brass, copper, and more. So be sure to reach out to them today at www.excelmachine.net to learn more about them and see what they can make you. Thanks, and back to the episode. So, what is your outlook on 2024 in regards to growth in US based manufacturing? Rachel, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, I think our growth looks pretty positive. I mean, I would say right now we would be considered maybe a little bit slower, but it is kind of typical during this time of year. Um, the economy is not the best either, and people are kind of holding a little bit tighter to their money. And we are too. I mean, we're not making any huge investments at this time because we're kind of preparing ourselves a little bit for if things were to go downhill a little bit, which I think is smart. That is in your control, and it's something to pay attention to your budgeting and your investments. But 2024, I think, looks really bright. As I mentioned, we'll be in full transition by next year. So I'll be doing more bookkeeping, more payroll, taxes, really the nitty gritty stuff that I haven't been able to touch yet. But I'll be able to get into that, and we'll have a little more freedom to do more things that we would like for Excel Machine. You guys don't know this, but we have a fun product that we came up with that we're looking forward to market that we're going to make.
Oh.
So we're pretty excited. We're really excited about it because we really think if we were able to manufacture something, make something, and be able to sell it, make some profit. I mean, what a way to keep the machines going, right? So
Yeah.
cross fingers. It's something really fun, something really positive, something we can offer people. But 2024 is looking really good, and I think with U.S. manufacturing as a whole, what machine shops can do is always just kind of prepare yourself, and like I said, just manage what you can control within your household, within your budgets. Be smart about your investments, but that's all you can really do. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have too much control over government spending, foreign policy, things like that. So just do what you can do within your own limits and see what happens. But always a positive outlook. It always can be positive.
Good stuff. Haley, what about you guys?
First of all, I want to say I give you and Luke like 100% props for what you're doing. Like, I'm not a business owner at all. So I don't know, like, I mean, like, I see what my bosses go through, and I'm like, owning a business is not easy, especially in this space. Sometimes you deal with so much, and I don't think people realize that. And especially you guys as business owners and husband and wife, I'm sure you bring like work home all the time. It's like you never really get away from it. So definitely shout out to you guys because I would not be able to do it. But US
Definite round of applause.
yeah. US manufacturing as a whole, I've been like keeping up with articles lately that are talking about like where we're at as a country with manufacturing, and I think we're bringing it back. I don't think we're number one. I don't count me on that, but I think we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back over here, which is really great to like see that because I feel like we lost that a little bit. But for IQ specifically, we are just always focused on growth. We always, every year, I've been there for 2.5 years, and each year we've added something new that's benefited us, benefited our customers, and brought in more customers, more employees. So we're 100% on the growth train, and I don't think we're going to stop. So our owners are constantly they don't want to be a small mom and pop shop, is what they always say. So that's something that I'm looking forward to because I love it just as much as they do.
That's awesome. And I second the round of applause for Rachel and Luke. You guys do an awesome job. So keep it up. Yeah, I agree with what you guys both said. I think the United States, we don't have a choice. We have to bring manufacturing back to the United States. After COVID, I think we all saw exactly what happens when things can change at the drop of a dime and there's no backup plan. And all of a sudden we have supply chain issues and all these things happening that we're still trying to make up for today. People, machine deliveries are still 6 to 12 months out, sometimes even more, all because of just how much manufacturing of cars. I mean, think about when all that was happening, people couldn't get new cars because they couldn't get the sensors and all this stuff. I mean, we have no choice but to rely on our own selves because you never, ever, ever know what is going to happen with the economic state, with a global sickness again, or a war. I mean, you just don't know. We are seeing more people invest back on United States soil, which is great to see, and that's something on this podcast that we'd like to talk about is bringing more people to the industry and bringing the strength back to American manufacturing. In terms of kind of the economic outlook, I'm definitely not an economist. I'm no expert there, but things for us is slowing down a little bit at the end of 2023 here. I think we are kind of expecting it to stay slow through 2024, hopefully pick up at the end of 2024 and have a good year in 25. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. But like Rachel, like you said, there's always a positive to find. And sometimes if things maybe slow down on the sales side, then you can look internally and really boost, some things that you've been wanting to work on internally. But we'll keep getting out there, trying to find projects, trying to help customers and serving the industry the best way that we can. So that was a good question. I kind of like that one.
Amen. I did too.
All right. The next one was a manufacturing career something you always dreamed about or something that just fortunately kind of happened? And what was the turning point? So Haley, go ahead.
I feel like I repeat this story so much in almost every like podcast I do, but no, this was not a career I imagined or dreamed of at all in any way. Definitely got here on complete accident. As you two know, I worked at a small shop, didn't see much growth, came to IQ. And I think the turning point for me was honestly IMTS in, oh God, when was that? 2021? 2022. 2022. That was the turning point because that was the first trade show I'd ever been to. It was huge. I met so many people, got a lot of great opportunities from it. And then after that, my company was like, we need to keep doing this. We need to keep like going to these shows and networking, and we're getting marketing content out of it. So I think that was the biggest turning point, was seeing that growth was available here in this space, and that I work for a company that's willing to let me do that. So definitely think that's the turning point. And I would not, I want to stay in manufacturing. So I didn't dream of being here, but now I can't imagine what life would be like without it.
Whoop, whoop. Rachel, let's hear it, girl.
Yeah. Oh man. No, absolutely not. We've talked about this, Shae. I absolutely did not ever think I would land in manufacturing working with my husband at the shop, even though we laughed about it and joked about it for years. I loved working in retail. I love working in cosmetics. I love being a trainer, which was my last position within that field. But No, but the turning point was when I was like, all right, let's do it. I'll give it a shot. We'll, get in there. But the turning point was just me getting in there, and big up to Luke. Like he just took training me like full on. He was just like, we're just gonna start here, do these little things, and then we'll just work up, see what you can do. And his real focus was always like, what do I need to be taken off my plate, here at the shop to help me, be able to really focus on the machining aspect, the RFQs and whatnot. I want Rachel to run some machines so that can take me, keep me at the computers for a little bit longer. I need her to just do organizing, cleaning, because he doesn't have time for that, and then marketing. Like he would do some LinkedIn because he's had LinkedIn for a long time, but he's like, I can't balance all of that. And his parents are very, very part-time. So he was pretty much running everything on his own. So when I stepped in there, the turning point, seeing him like have like almost this like relief of like, oh, I have some help. And then for him having like faith in me, like, I know you can do this. Get it, you're on the lathe, babe. That was the whole thing. So yeah, the turning point was like, wow, I can do this. This is actually kind of fun. Like, oh wow, look what came out of this, piece of scrap metal. Look what came out of this machine. Like, so, seeing the relief on my husband's face was amazing. And then us being able to work on something together, same vision, same focus. I mean, yeah, a little scary. All eggs are in one basket now. We don't have dual incomes, but for us to work on something together is very, very fun. I would never go back. 9 to 5 is couldn't do it.
Great stories. And I think it kind of just shows everybody that you don't have to want to be in manufacturing to eventually end up in finding a career here. I was the same way. I grew up, I feel like I've kind of told this story quite a bit too, but grew up wanting to be an attorney. I was dead set on that. I had a major life altering injury that one day I'll probably make a whole separate video so people actually kind of know what happened. Pain constantly all the time. And if you want to go to law school, you got to pass the LSAT, or not pass, but you got to get a good enough score on the LSAT exam to get accepted in. I couldn't even sit down for 30 minutes to study because of the pain and the struggle that I was going through physically. And it was kind of my dad's knowledge and my mom that said, what about manufacturing? And most of you guys know the HEH group is owned by my dad, Willie, and his two partners, Bob and Jim Haggerty. And so he's been in manufacturing his whole life. My grandpa, my great grandpa, and my dad talked to me about it, brought me in. I talked with our boss, our marketing manager, and just seemed like a really good fit. I fell in love with it. I remember the first time I saw a robot move and a machine cut, and I was like sucked right in. So by accident as well / influence, but definitely wouldn't change it for the world. And I see myself in manufacturing until I probably cannot walk anymore, and I can't physically get my own self out of my bed. So yeah. Now the next question, this person asked like 3 questions that they're like pointed to each person. So Haley, I'll start with yours. It says, Haley, what other benefits besides networking has LinkedIn helped your career with? Also, have you ever thought about promoting your photography on LinkedIn?
I think, yeah, to answer the first one, the benefit it's had on my career is just the opportunities it's brought me. Like I said before, I've met a ton of people. I've been able to be on other industry podcasts because of that. So LinkedIn has brought me that. We've also, like I said, gotten a ton of customers from it who will come in and be like, oh yeah, I saw you guys on LinkedIn because of Haley. So I think that really just helps a lot. Other than that, it is just the networking. I wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys if it wasn't for LinkedIn networking. So that's about it. But for photography, I do have a separate page on LinkedIn for my photography that I promote on there. But for my Haley Hopt account, it's strictly IQ. I work for them. So when I'm on the clock, I'm promoting them. I'm promoting their products. And then when I'm off the clock, it's all photo. So if you do want to follow that account, it is on LinkedIn. But it's not ever really promoted on my other account.
We will link it in the description for anybody that wants to check it out. So make sure you send that to me. All right. Rachel, your question is, Rachel, what are the pros and cons of working with your spouse every day? I had to ask because I try to imagine my wife and I working together every day, laughing face. And how did you get into lifting weights / working out?
Oh, now this is a question I get a ton. You guys have your few questions, you get a ton. But yes, working with your husband, pros and cons. Pros, I kind of talked about this, but having same vision, same goals you're working towards, and to have that opportunity to actually do it with a person that you love the most, like how cool is that? It's actually really, really exciting. And the pros, gosh, if you have a family running a small business, there's so many benefits to it. I don't have to allot vacation time or sick time. I just go through Luke. Like, he's pretty easy. It's pretty easy going when it comes to our daughter, especially. But having a family is great. And I probably mentioned this before, but our shop also has a little apartment upstairs. So she just hikes it upstairs if she needs to come to the shop and watches TV or play some games, color, whatever. So, I mean, family wise, amazing to work with your spouse. You just, go through each other. Cons, yeah, you can spend too much time together and you need that time apart. So it's really all up to you guys to make sure you make the effort in planning some time away. Like I just mentioned, my daughter and Luke are out doing Christmas shopping, and they do these daddy-daughter dates. Miranda and I will have our mother-daughter dates. But, while we're out, the other one just kind of finds something to do or just has their alone time. I go thrift shopping, Luke goes to the bar with a friend, or, I actually like shopping by myself, believe it or not. I don't like to shop with anybody because I'm like a thrifter. I like Ross. I like TJ Maxx. I like Home Goods, and I like to sift, and I can be there for hours. So if anyone's with me, they'd probably be bored to tears. So anyway, Luke's not about that, so I go by myself. So that's my recharge. But find your time to just have your own time, like anything, and just refresh and then get back to work. Another thing we do really quick is we have a lot of Fridays off because Luke works a lot of 410s. So, especially when my daughter's in school, we go to a coffee shop. We drop her off at school, we go to a coffee shop, and we talk about everything that happened that week. If there's anything that's kind of like bugging us, we let it out. Or we also talk about plans for next week, what our schedule looks like next week. But after that coffee shop talk, we're done. No more shop, family time, we refresh at church, we do some fun activities. We just try and keep work just out of it, and we just really focus on each other. So again, it's just really making that effort to really communicate with each other, find that time, to kind of refresh and then get back to work. So really lots of pros and cons. I see more pros than cons, really. So it's great. I wouldn't change it. Absolutely wouldn't change it. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then the second part of that question for you was, how did you get into working out?
yeah, man. So well, I would say the biggest one is after I had Miranda. I gained a good 50 pounds, girl. Like, Mama was eating. I was hungry.
Mama's got to eat.
Mama's got to eat. I took that eating for two way too literally. Like, I probably was eating for four. Okay. Flamin' Hot Cheetos and bean and cheese burritos. That's what my daughter's made of. So bad. But anyway, so after I had her, I felt just like, okay, I got to get back into it. And I was always wanted to go to the gym. I liked working out, but I was like, okay, I got to do some changes. So it was in 2019, Luke and I decided to train and start running. So then we actually completed 3 half marathons, lost all my baby weight. It was really, really exciting. It was a fun time, a lot of hard work. Running is hard. It's really hard. But it got me into just really kind of focusing and working hard on myself. I was kind of going through a little bit of a hard time personally, and I also got back into joining a church and having a community. So that helped me spiritually. And physically, I had running to kind of just be that escape for me and something to work towards. So it was probably back in 2019 I got into that, but then I got more into weightlifting because when I was running so much, I was losing a lot of muscle tone because I was running such long distances, and I didn't like that aesthetic. So I wanted more muscle. So the last 2 years, I would have to say I've more been focusing on weightlifting and instead of running. So running still, it's all right every once in a while, but I have no desire to do a half marathon anytime soon.
Oof. Yeah, that is long. Well, good. Awesome. So, my question has nothing. Well, I guess maybe the next one could, but this is Shae. What was the hardest part of your competition prep? For me, years ago, it was always trying to consume all the meals. Also, if you could pick any other career different from what you're doing, what would it be? Um, so I want to be real about the competition prep in case we have any fitness people or young people wanting to get into competition prep. For those of you who don't know, I do compete in bodybuilding. And I just competed in my first show on October 14th and looking to compete again in May, hopefully. Um, what they don't tell you about competition prep is they only talk about the losing the weight part and how hard that is. They don't talk about what happens after the show. So prep was a breeze. Prep was so easy for me. It is really easy. I've been a gymnast and a cheerleader my whole life. I'm used to living on a meal plan, working out, doing all those things. I enjoy doing those things. Also, as I mentioned before, I do have a pretty significant injury that's never going to go away. So I really have to watch my food. So for a long time, I've been dieting anyways, just to watch my weight and my health. Obviously, competition prep, you take it to the next level. The prep, I prepped for like 17 weeks and it was a breeze. I had a great time. Never cheated on my meals, got all my meals in, never missed a workout, nothing, gave it 100%. The hardest part to answer your question has been post show. After the show, one of two things happen: either you can't stop eating or you can't start eating. And I'll just be honest, I've had a very difficult time started eating. I've had a really hard time eating more calories. I've had a really hard time having cheat meals. And it kind of becomes a mental game, and you can kind of find yourself in a really dark spot, not wanting to eat Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow and things like that. And I know this is really personal, but this is what I'm trying to be open and honest, not only about competition prep, but on this podcast in general. So the post show life, trying to eat again, trying to find myself back into a somewhat normal routine has been difficult. My coach has been great. I've had a lot of great support around me, but that was the most difficult part. And if I could be anything else but what I'm doing now, um, I would probably be flying fighter jets. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Maverick over here.
Yeah.
Gonna say that.
Yeah, Top Gun. I am an adrenaline junkie, and there's not a lot of things because of my injury that I can do that like involve adrenaline anymore. So like I crave that. That's why I compete. That's why I work out, like all that kind of stuff. So I used to like always wanted to go skydiving and cliff jumping, like all this stuff. So I can't do that, but I always thought about flying jets and just across the sky and flipping up. I mean, like literally thinking about it gets me like amped up. So maybe I would have been a fighter jet pilot. Instead, we sell machines to aerospace. So there's always an interest, you guys. There's always an interest. All right, all three of you. After that deep topic, all three of you. What is one thing you have learned about each other? Can't wait to listen to this episode. Keep up the great work. Haley, go for it.
Oh, learned about like you guys?
I think that's what they mean.
Okay.
What is one thing you've each learned about each other? Yeah.
Well, I've learned that Shae has an immense amount of strength through everything that's thrown her way. And then Rachel, I've learned that she is literally like, you're so smart. Like, I see your stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this girl is killing it. And also working with your husband. Oh God, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. So I give you credit. But Rachel's a very smart girl. If you aren't following her, go do it now. And Shae's strength is just, it amazes me. And they both inspire me so much. So I've learned that you guys are just great people. And I love having well, we don't know each other in person really. So the company, I guess. But I like having your guys just like, you guys are like a support system for me as well in this industry. So I love having that.
Aww.
That was so nice. That was so nice. I have learned that Rachel is a superhero. She's a mom. She works with her husband. She came from the cosmetics industry. She also has an interest in competing in bodybuilding. She gives her effort 100% to everything that she does. And for Haley, the same thing. I mean, talk about somebody that has speared the social media world in manufacturing. Manufacturing used to like social media was like so foreign, and Haley just took it by the wings and soared with it, and she really kind of hedged the way for the rest of us. Like, I would not be really known on social media or LinkedIn, or maybe Rachel, you as well, if Haley didn't come before us and get her stuff out there and not be afraid to share that personal life. So Haley, thank you for that. She showed us how to deal with comments. She showed us how to post every day, be consistent, put in that hard work. And yeah, they're both just incredible people. And not only people that I'm so happy to have in my circle and my network, but people I consider friends too.
Make me cry over here.
Guys, I love this. Absolutely love this. You guys are so sweet. The word that comes to mind when I think of both of you is passion. You two both have passion. And I think if you have an overall passion for what you do, because you guys have passion for your jobs, you have passion for manufacturing, passion for women in manufacturing, youth in manufacturing. I mean, that passion, if you have passion to start off with, I think it leads to your drive and it leads to your success. Once you lose your passion, you got nothing. Now you're just miserable, or you're just going from day to day. But you guys have a passion that's just unflailing. And you guys are just, I learned so much from you guys. Where you guys are at in your life, I wish I was at your age. Like, you guys are so smart. So, I mean, you guys have this light about you that just can just totally light up a room, make someone's day. You're just refreshing. But the word that comes to mind is passion for both of you. And I think it's absolutely 100% genuine. I'm so ugly to know you guys. Group hug.
Oh, look at us, you guys. That was such a thoughtful question. Whoever asked that. Thank you. That was very nice.
I love it.
All right. This is just so funny, so I have to say it. This question is for the world famous Lathe Babe. Dear Lathe Babe, what is it like being married to someone so smart and so good looking? Signed, definitely not by her husband, Duke Marshall.
I love that. I love that.
When I saw this come through, I laughed so hard.
Wonder who that was from.
Man, I can just take a wild guess here. Oh my gosh, you guys. My husband has something to say. Always got something to say. That is so funny.
That is.
He's very good looking. He's very smart. I absolutely adore him. Love him more each and every day. It's amazing.
I love that you answered that too. I'd have been like, whatever, Connor.
Me too. I'd have been like, get out of here.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. But Duke Marshall did ask a very good question after that. He said, so, and I actually love this topic, talking about it. So he said, serious question for you all. I've noticed some women empowerment movements actually take things too far. Instead of lifting women up, they put men down. As influencers in the manufacturing space, how do you balance encouraging women but also respect and encourage men? Blue collar men have had the highest suicide rates in the United States. I've never heard you guys put any men down, FYI. Just thought it would be a good topic and a moment to encourage some men out there. I can tell that some men follow you. 3 are blue collar guys that might be struggling. So, Haley, why don't you start us off with that one?
So first I want to say that I think the highest rate of suicide in our country is men, regardless of the career path. And it's just so sad because I feel like we've put men on a pedestal where they're like not okay to talk about things they're struggling with. And I totally disagree with that. To answer the question, I feel at one point in time I was talking too much about being a woman in manufacturing, that even if I wasn't putting men down, talking about it too much was kind of putting them down in a way. And I want to just totally say that is like, there's so many men here that support us. And I would not be here today without the male influences. My first job was because of a male. Right now, the career and the growth that I've endured is because of the males that own my company. There are great women in this field that I've learned so much from, but it's the men who have taught me the machines. What is a caliper? How do you use a micrometer? All of these things. And I would not be here today without them. So if any of the men out there are struggling and listening to this, please know that we are thankful for you. And you guys help us, and you are one of the sole reasons we're here. But yeah, I feel so bad when I hear stuff like that. Like, it's horrible that they feel that way, but we are grateful for you.
Yeah, 100%. Rachel, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Oh gosh, men, I mean, it's predominantly male dominated industry. We need men. Like we can learn from them, take their experiences, their skill sets. I mean, gosh, my father-in-law, amazing guy that he's influenced me with his hard work and his dedication to the skill and craft of machining. But yeah, absolutely, and I agree with so much women empowerment things going on right now. You can easily find yourself just putting down men to lift yourself up, and that's definitely not the direction I want to go. I know it's not the direction we want to go. It's not that at all. One person that comes to mind is Brian Warren. He's over at the Gene Haas Institute. He's a instructor. I think you guys follow him. But I see him all the time with his classes. Quite a few women in there, men, and he's very empowering to both. Like he doesn't even like really make it like a man woman thing. Like we're just all in one. They're all here to learn. His passion shows through in teaching youth in his classes. So yeah, absolutely. I absolutely appreciate all the men within the industry. Really, we talked about comments and such earlier, but it really is very few. It's been more uplifting and empowering what I've gotten from men being on LinkedIn and such. Sharing their advice and cheering me on and whatnot. And so I think it's been more of a positive thing than anything with my interaction with men in the industry. But yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We definitely appreciate those that will love to see more women within the manufacturing industry. So yeah, very much needed.
Yeah. This is a topic that frustrates the absolute heck out of me. I could get on a soapbox with this topic. I'll never forget when I first started doing stuff on LinkedIn. I just started at the company like 3 years ago. When on LinkedIn, I opened up the page and I can't remember who had posted it or really much other than the fact that the caption was what it's like working with men. And after that, I told my boss, I told every organization that wanted to work with me, I said, first of all, I came into this not even, it's a problem if you make it a problem, right? Like, if we just want more women in the industry, we want more women in the industry. But if you want more women in the industry and you're going to try and promote that by putting down somebody else, no. There is a way to get more women in the industry without saying we need to kick out men because they're this, that, and the third, and bring in more women, because that's not true. I honestly, and again, I could really, really go on about this, but modern day feminism has destroyed men. Like, it's all about how women are great and men ain't crap. Women don't need men, and maybe we don't. I'm not saying we do or we don't or whatever. All I'm saying is if your point is to empower and your goal is to empower, then why are you putting down something else? If what you're promoting is that good, if what you're promoting is needed, like women in manufacturing, we need women in manufacturing. It's been proven. We're more reliable. We're able to multitask. More women are going to college. They're coming out with STEM degrees. We need women in manufacturing. So why do we need to put down men in the process? They started manufacturing. A lot of them are the best CEOs in the world, and we are going to get more women in manufacturing, but we are not going to do it without the support of the powerful men in this industry. Because if you don't have the support from them, then who are you getting supported from? So I never really saw like that as a problem. Every guy that I've worked with, I'm one of the only girls in our office. We're getting more women just by nature because more women are submitting for interviews and stuff. But everybody is great. I've had I've learned so much from everybody, and everyone respects me. I respect them. And if I got to answer a few extra questions, whatever. But I just have a really hard time with, if you're promoting empowerment, then you should never be promoting degrading another person. So that's what I got to say about that. And if I don't stop there, I'm going to really go off on the whole subject.
It's good to have
You're just
passion
a
about that
bully
now.
at that point, you know? You're just a bully then if you're just, finding yourself needing to feel bigger and more puffy chested by putting someone else
Mhm.
down. Like, it actually makes you more look like a jerk. And we don't want
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
So,
And I just really don't think we all need each other. Men need women, women need men. There is no reason we should be saying women are the end all be all and men you can go pound salt. I don't think that's ever a solution. I just in anything, I just don't think I gotta stop with this.
One more thing that we can talk about this. I think
great
it's really
question,
funny
Duke
how
Marshall.
right. I think it's really funny how people say like, how is it working with men? Like, there's no other career field where you're gonna work with men. Do you know how many people I worked with in college at McDonald's who were male? Like,
Right.
why does it have to be so singled out? You know. Anyways, we can stop
You're
there.
like, chill, you guys.
Right.
Ooh,
Awesome.
Duke Marshall got us heated in that. At least got me heated in that question. I think I need
Even
some
on the heater.
drink.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Speaking of taking a drink, I do want to give a special shout out to Haley, who made us these awesome manufacturing muscle mugs. Let's do like a virtual cheers before we go on to the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Mhm.
This is coffee. What else are you guys? Haley, do you have coffee? Rachel, what are you drinking?
Peppermint
Well,
coffee.
All right.
Water.
Water. I love me some water.
Totally
I
water.
am so bad at my water intake. I should be drinking water, but
It's all right. Just keep pounding the coffee. It's only 8:40.
right. Only 8:40 at night.
So we got a lot of requests to sing a Christmas carol. Like literally 3 people asked, "Would you sing us a Christmas carol?"
Oh my god.
I don't know if this is something you got.
Only
Oh, she got the hat.
Look at your cute hat.
Oh my gosh.
So
Do you
cute.
guys want to rip off a Christmas carol? What do you guys want to sing?
I don't know if y'all are ready to hear this voice. Woo.
I know, right? I'm not the person you want to ask to sing a song right now.
I could do me a solid like Jingle Bell Rock or something.
Yeah,
But
right.
a carol, oh man,
Jingle Bell Rock?
yeah.
I don't even. Why do I not know that one? Is that like the?
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells singing, jingle. Wait, next question. We kind of talked about this a little bit. What ways have your companies found new customers and gained their business? I guess this isn't social media related, just in general. Rachel, what? Why don't you take that one away? Finding new customers.
Yeah, really like it's just kind of wrapping back around to LinkedIn because we've gotten direct work from LinkedIn especially since I've been on board, kind of taking it over since last year. But I would say the work that we've gotten from LinkedIn, some new customers, they've been like little jobs where maybe they might not always end up being like a repeat, monthly work, monthly job, which us as a job shop, we look for. We would love to get into something that's like a repeat every month, every other month, just something to more rely on. So that's always a bonus. But I would say the work that we found through LinkedIn and getting those new customers, there's been a handful of them where we maybe done a job for them, but maybe you don't hear back from them maybe until like 6 months later. But I can't tell you how many times when that comes around, how beneficial it is and how great it is. Like, oh yeah, we made these parts like, a few months back. I'm glad they're popping up. It gives us some extra work, some extra things to do. Especially having a program that's verified and whatnot. We know it works. We know how to set it up. We can just pop that in real quick and do it. So, but LinkedIn, I just have to go back to that. It's been great just to be able to get some work directly from social media like that. So, I would add to that though to keep those ongoing. We really, really love to keep our relationships going with those jobs and make sure we keep in touch and touch base. And whenever we're slow, we'll send out something and be like, hey, any outsourcing, anything you got, send out an email real quick and let them know we got open capacity and if there's anything else we can do for them. So yeah, just LinkedIn really, that's really all that we've been kind of doing as far as getting more customers and just keeping those relationships fresh, making sure
Awesome.
we're with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Haley?
So, people ask me all the time how many customers we actually get from LinkedIn, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm so far removed from like how we bring in customers that I couldn't tell you the answer to that. We have a dedicated sales guy who is always out and about, like trying to get more contacts and get jobs and stuff like that. A lot of it is word of mouth, though. I'm not gonna tell like say what customers, but a lot of them locally will be like, "Oh, we used IQ for this. You should do that." And I think one of the good things about being diverse in what industries we serve is that like automotive could be slow in the beginning of the year where aerospace isn't, and then vice versa throughout the year. So bringing in customers in every area is very good, and I think we're pretty good at that. And before I even started working at the company, they had already established a pretty good customer base. So we've got that incoming or that ongoing work with some customers, but everything else is usually word of mouth, customers we've had, or our sales guy going out and killing it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, LinkedIn, salespeople, all that stuff is good. Couple things that we do with the HEH group, trade shows. Like I said, we're a distributorship, so you guys are a machine shop, so you guys, market to your customers definitely different than we do. Or try to get new customers different than we do outside of social media. So we do a lot of social media. We see a lot of leads from there. We do a lot of email marketing. Email marketing has been huge for us. We do a lot. We have 4 sales guys just in Northern Ohio. And then we also have a company down south at Kratz and Saunders, which is our distributorship down south, where we have another 4 sales guys. And then we have a guy down there who strictly does prospecting, who absolutely kills it. So he is just on the phone, pounding the phones, finding new customers, new opportunities for our sales guys. We also do a lot of trade shows. So we'll do like South Tech for Kratz and Saunders. We'll do PMTS for Mach and Eichele and Ultratech. And Advanced Spindle Technology. We've been getting them involved in more trade shows. We will be doing a booth at IMTS this year for Ultratech in the Automation Hall. We do that. We also have been doing a lot of in-house events. So this year we held 2 events. We called them the major events. We called them Pigskin Kickoff, where we just invited every machine shop, job shop, manufacturer in our area to just come by, see the technology, talk with our team, have a fun time. And we really made it like a blowout football party. It was really fun. We secured a lot of new customers that way, or new contacts at least that we can market to. Yeah, those are kind of like the main ways. And then obviously having an outside sales team, like I mentioned before. I would say another thing too is that's a little bit dynamic about the HEH group is we have a massive service team that services more than just Mazak customers. So if we have, a random shop that just calls and says, hey, we need a calibration on this CMM, our service guy will go in, oh, who is the HEH group? They can explain it, and service sells too. So definitely a lot of different ways that we pull in customers, but that's just a couple.
Yeah, I just remembered we recently too, with our presence on LinkedIn, a lot of more just, word of mouth too. They see us on LinkedIn. They know we're around, but we've been getting to know a lot more places that do anodizing, places that do laser cutting, places that do like larger shops that could handle larger quantities that maybe it's not quite our bread and butter. So those are great relationships that we treasure too. So if we get something in and like, that's maybe more suited for like laser cutting, it's maybe too thin for us for a machine, whatever the case may be, keeping those contacts, and then whatever work they get, they're like, hey, Excel machine, they can do that for you. So that word of mouth is like so nice. It's so great. Just to like have that feeling of, everyone kind of supporting each other and what they do and specialize in. So that's been something I've been noticing too more lately. When we can't do something, we'll hand it off, but then it always comes back, and that's something to be really grateful for, to have those types of relationships you can kind of work off on. So
absolutely, yeah, that's great. So the next question kind of goes to like the 3-pointed. Once again, somebody had asked each of us individually a question. So Rachel, starting with you, this one says, Rachel, since you run machines on the floor, do you have any aspirations to learn G code and eventually start programming?
At this time, it's not really beneficial for the shop for me to learn that. Just Luke is really hands-on when it comes to programming, G code, and all that. It goes kind of hand in hand when he works on doing the quotes, because he still does a lot of the quotes for Excel machine. So I mean, at this point in time, no. I mean, I've dabbled in it. I actually, I worked in CAD to engrave my cat's ID tag. So it was a little project. He's like, Luke's like, hey, let me show you how to work CAD a little bit on Toast's ID tag. I'm like, okay. So I did a little bit of it. It was pretty fun. It's pretty intense too, but really cool at the same time. But I mean, at this time, it's really not something that could really be beneficial to the shop right now. It's just more kind of me wanting to learn more. I want to learn more setup, so more initial setup. So actually grabbing the tools, putting them in the machine, especially for, I mentioned this maybe a week or two ago, because with Clear Shield, we have that exclusive contract with. I run those parts all the time, but I want to take on more responsibility where I can just be like, all right, grab the material, pop in the tools, do the setup. So that gives Luke even more time to just work on something else. And that's like all mine. It's like my baby to work on. So I'm going to be learning more of that, like things like that, and then more with bookkeeping, taxes, payroll. That's more, because that's more something I'm really going to have more hands on more than the programming. So that's more Luke's thing, but it's fun. It's pretty cool. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Haley, your question is, Haley, in a recent post, you talked about spending time on the shop floor, but they don't let you run the machines. Do you have any interest in changing that?
So I think you made me aware of this question before, and I really hope that when I make posts about not running machines, it's not coming off as like my company or the owners won't let me run them. I'm sure I could like call them right now and be like, I want to start running the machines, and they'd be like, okay. Like they are totally more than willing to teach me that. As far as me wanting to change that, I'm not sure I'm ready for that step in my manufacturing career yet. Also, trust me, we are so busy on the floor sometimes, like pulling a guy off to like teach me that at this point in time is just not feasible. So I'm just going to use that as my excuse for right now. But I am on the shop floor a lot. I work with our quality manager a ton. We're constantly working back and forth. The printer's on the floor. I'm always walking out to the printer. And then I help with shipping. And then I am the person that deals with I deal directly with two of our customers, and in order to get parts out, I have to make certain things to email to them. So I'm on the floor constantly. As for the machines, I give our guys credit. They're amazing, but it's not something I want to be doing right now. But they would be more than willing to teach me if I asked them.
Absolutely. I love it. So then my question was, Shae, you talk a lot about technical aspects of the machines you sell. Do you ever get a chance to run them? If not, is that something you'd like to do? This person loves machining. I love that for them. Yeah, so I have not actually run a machine yet, but one thing that I have started doing is learning how to program robots. So we thought that that'd be a good place for me to start. One day my goal is to be an owner of the HEH group. So we've kind of started saying, all right, what are things that are going to kind of make me like a well-rounded owner one day and kind of as I go through my career. So learning more about automation is something that we thought would be a really good place to start. So I spend about like 20 to 40 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week with one of our automation guys learning how to program the cobots. And then I have spent a good amount of time with our apps guy, just like learning about the different language and stuff like that. But I have not run a machine yet. I'm hoping to go to one of our training classes soon to learn like on the desktop, just more familiar with like Maze Patrol G code or Maze Patrol conversational and G code. So I definitely have an interest. I like the technical stuff. Have I run a machine? No. Am I running cobots? Learning / yes, I'm actually hoping to do some video series about that in 2024, and I guess we'll just see where it takes me.
Those things are so cool, by the way. Love them.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
Literally. And we do all those fun holiday videos, so now I can like really get into it. Like how I'm gonna do the video, because I don't have to bother the robot guy over and over again to fix it. Now I know how to like work it, so I'm like, what about this, what about this, what about this? So
do we have a robot cooking a turkey this year?
Oh my gosh, we decided to skip out on a holiday video for Thanksgiving. We were going to, but just the time crunch got away from us. So we're starting to brainstorm our Christmas video.
Ooh.
So stay
I showed everyone your Halloween one, so I sat there
okay.
next to my husband and I was like, watch this. This is hilarious.
I gotta give it to
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I got to give it to there's a guy on our team. His name's Dylan Bowe. And Dylan is awesome. He is super quiet, but really funny person. And I'll message him on Teams and he definitely thinks I'm crazy, but it's fine. I'll message him on Teams and be like, hey, we got to do a Halloween video or we got to do whatever. So he comes in my office with a piece of paper or this pen and he's like, what are we going to do? And he's like, no idea is a bad idea unless you give me something that's really horrible. And I'm like, well, Dylan, if I give you something that's really horrible, we'll just like work back, you know? So him and I will sit there and like brainstorm, and then we'll finally nail it. And then he'll storyboard it. And like, I mean, he really runs the show. We come up with the ideas together, but he really runs the show and he puts all the videos together at the end. So I really got to give him props for his editing and his creativity with the holiday videos. So Dylan, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Someone said you ladies are all doing great at what you do. I'm so proud of all of you and consider myself lucky to be connected with each of you. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you.
Very nice.
All right. What was one thing you were most excited about in manufacturing for 2023? Haley, go for it.
Can I say IMTS?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like, I hate that it's every other year, honestly. Like, that was the funnest part of, like, because I think I was with the company for maybe a little over a year at that point that I went, and it was amazing. And Rachel, I hope you are there this year or next year, 2023, because, right, 2024 or 2023? What was the question?
Yeah,
okay, 2024. Because it was amazing. It was amazing, and like, I barely saw 2 halls because it's so big. But it's amazing. So, yes.
Yes, Rachel, you have to come to IMTS.
Oh, I told Luke, I was like, I'll go with or without you. I'm going. Like, I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Let's figure it out.
For you.
Yeah. I'll just sneak you guys one y'all suitcase, you know?
Yes.
Whatever it
takes. I will find a big enough suitcase. I'm sure I have one. I have some suitcases that you could definitely fit into.
I'm about it. Yeah.
Rachel, what's something?
What was that?
Rachel, what's something that? So it says, what was one thing you were most excited about in manufacturing for 2023? But I feel like that's supposed to say 2024.
Yeah. As I was answering that, I was like, wait a minute. Did they mean 2024 or 2023? Most exciting thing.
I feel like it's supposed to say 24.
Yeah.
Let's go with 24.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's face it, 2020 screwed us all up with the years, okay? Ever since 2020, it's like, wait, what is? I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
It doesn't even feel like we're in a year anymore. I don't even know what's happening.
I know. What are we in now? Haley, did you have more to add? I don't want to cut you off. Did you have more to add then?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just IMTS, absolutely. I want to go to more trade shows. I only went to the Haas and Doosan one this year. But those are so fun and weird because so many people were like, oh, it's the lathe day. Like, oh, you must be Rachel. And it's like, it's so weird. And then even, like the JM Grizzly, the guys that were holding the Doosan one, they were like, you're like internet famous, so you got to wait a minute. I got to take a picture with you. And I was like, oh, internet famous. It's just funny. It's just weird how this thing is just kind of taken off and done its thing. But it's fun. It's way fun. And then getting to connect with the people that do follow me on LinkedIn. They're like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And it's like, oh man, I know you, your face. Like, I want to remember everybody. It can get a little tricky, but trade shows are so super fun. And looking at all the machines, the tools, it's really, really awesome. The things they have coming around, some new technology and things. It's awesome. Like, it gets you excited for even more excited for us, with having the freedom next year and how we want to run our business and what machines we probably want to invest in and other areas of machining. But
amazing.
Definitely more trade shows. I want to go to more of those. And the swag, so fun. I love merchandise. Give me all the swag stuff. All the bigger koozies, give them to me. I want them all.
I love that.
Got some Eichele-Gawry koozies.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you both need some Mazak koozies, some Mazak shirts, maybe a Mazak
I do
hat.
have a Mazak hat in my office.
All right, we're getting somewhere. I'm telling you, I got you to discover.
You did, and I
I'm
actually have a sweater from them too, which is the
there
comfiest.
we go.
Yes.
Mazak's top of the line, man. I'm telling you.
Give me all of it.
Do you guys have anything more else that you're excited about for next year? No, no, all good.
I think we're good.
For me, definitely IMTS. And then there is a special project that I'm working on that normally I wouldn't shout this out, but definitely want to because I just think it's really cool. Hopefully in 2024, the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, they are building a $7 million STEM facility just near Akron, Ohio. And I've been talking a lot with their team. Mach and Eichele, one of the HEH Group's distribution companies, has been talking with them a lot. We're going to have them in for a tour next week just to see in what ways we can support them with equipment and service and support. They have a reach of like over 100,000 girls in just Northeast Ohio that they're going to be bringing in and trying to make an impact. And these kids are young. I mean, they are like fourth through like eighth grade. I think they said the majority of their girls are in like summer camps and that are going to be doing stuff in this STEM facility. So talk about making a difference. Talk about, really directly getting in front of young girls and getting them interested in STEM. And they gave us some pretty interesting numbers. It was like 13% of girls by the time they get to high school know that they don't want to be in a STEM field. And then it was like, or they don't have confidence, or like, it was crazy. Just like girls just not thinking that they have confidence to be in STEM, that they are not smart enough to be in any type of STEM field. So I think they're going to make a huge difference. And that's really going to come to head, hopefully in 2024. So I'm really, really excited to continue to stay involved as much as I can in supporting the Girl Scouts. So
And that's why I think your influence here, like if more young girls can see more of the women within manufacturing, they can have more of that confidence to be like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I am smart enough. I am capable. These women are doing it. They're doing something in the field. And it's not just a male thing, it's not just a man type of industry or man type of job or whatnot. Like, and if you're inspiring them at that young age, I mean, they can just blossom into things as they get older, and seeing more of this influence, especially how big, YouTube and social media and things have like a positive influence like this, is could make a huge change in these kids.
yeah, and I guess that's another thing too, just on the manufacturing muscle side on the podcast side, just really looking forward to reaching more people with a positive message. You guys have done such an awesome job supporting the podcast, and I really appreciate everything that you guys have done with that. Without your guys' support, views and likes and comments and shares, wouldn't be happening like they are, and just being on here because your guys' influence is so positive and influential, and we just want more and more girls to be considering this industry. And kind of tying back to what I was talking about earlier, is manufacturing a muscle is a way that I empower women and empower people to get into manufacturing without putting anybody else down. And I definitely try my best to do that, and I hope that that message is being delivered, because we want just more people in manufacturing in general. And obviously I want more young girls to be involved because they can have a really awesome career here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how far is this place from you? Because it's in Ohio, right? How is it
Yeah,
far
so
as
it's the actual where the building's going to be at is it's right by my office. It's like 10 minutes from my office.
Oh, wow.
So it's about a little under 20 minutes from my house.
Wow. So when I come visit you, it's just another thing I got to go see because it sounds really cool. It sounds awesome.
You got to come to Ohio, and then we're not too far from Haley. So once you come here, then we can carpool to go to Michigan.
There we go.
Yes, and then my daughter's signing up for Girl Scouts tomorrow, so.
There you go.
Yay! Oh, I love that. That's good.
I was thinking, why isn't my daughter into this? What am I doing? Mom fail. Come on now.
The WAM chair position that I hold, that Oregon Women's Aerospace thing, the event that we just had 2 weeks ago, we partnered with 2 different Girl Scout locations, and it was 4th and 5th grade who was participating. Awesome. So they did a great job getting at the forefront of that, because they're really gonna push for that, which I love seeing. So I want to see this facility too. I'll just come to you. No need to carpool. Michigan's not that great.
We will meet in Akron. There's not a lot of great things to do here, but we can do some good restaurants.
There we go.
That's all we need. And the Girl Scouts.
There we go.
That's all we got.
I'm about it. And then karaoke
Yes.
at the end of the day, okay?
Oh, you guys, I know a karaoke spot too.
Ooh. Looks like we're going to Shae.
I think so. I think so. All right. So we got a couple more left. Maybe we can kind of breeze through these ones. But did you have a big challenge that you faced in 2023 that you had to overcome?
I feel like I'd have to think about this for a minute. I really, on the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I really had to overcome, honestly. Maybe just the workload. My workload's a little bit different now. More responsibilities on my plate, which is always a little bit difficult to overcome at first, but I think that's about it.
All right. We'll take that. Sounds like a W for me.
Haley, you got, I don't know how you do it all. Like all the traveling, the public speaking.
Some days I ask myself the same thing.
Like, dang, this girl's moving.
You rock it, girl. You rock it.
The other day I thrive in chaos, and I am just going with that.
The same thing.
Yes. Love that for us.
Same.
The good thing Shae introduced you to those energy drinks. I think you're going to be needing that, and then you'll be like, how did I ever live in this chaos without it?
You guys, I'm an energy drink addict. And it's not like Monsters and stuff. It is like the pre-workout drinks. I'm going to start a whole Instagram page dedicated to reviewing pre-workout drinks.
Yes. Do you guys have, this is totally off topic, do you guys have nutrition shops by you? Like they have like teas and like shakes and whatnot?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one across the street from where I live.
I had one of those teas before, and I was like jittering, jumping off the walls, and I was like, I hate feeling like this. So I had like PTSD trying those. I think it's Alani. Is that what that is?
No, yeah, Alani.
I was so nervous. I sipped it for 3 hours yesterday. And then I was like, okay, no, we're good. So then I had one today, but they're good. I like them.
They're good. Yeah. They are good.
Yeah, really good. My daughter's trying to sneak in. Do you see her?
You know what?
Hello.
I have. Hi, Miranda.
Hi.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's so cute. I love it.
Well, she got toast. That's what she was after. All right. Say hi real
so
quick.
Cute. So cute. So I think we'll just wrap it up with these last 4 questions with Becca from MilSpec asked these. She put, hey y'all, Becca here. So we know it's from her. We had a couple more, but they were kind of like repeats or like things that we kind of already touched on. So I guess we kind of answered this one too, or maybe not. What inspired you to pursue a career in manufacturing, and how has your journey been so far? We all kind of talked about how we got into it. So what about just how has your journey been so far? Rachel, go for it.
Journey's been great. Maybe you guys have kind of sensed this from Luke, but he loves to learn new things. He loves the history about things. He's not one to just stay stagnant. Like he's up to always learning something, and he pushes me to do the same. So my journey's been great. I think the push at sometimes I'm like, really, you want me to do that? You're good with that? Okay. But I'm more embracing it now rather than being scared. So the journey's actually getting more exciting than nerve-wracking, I guess. So Luke's a great teacher. He's my father-in-law as well has been a great influence and mentor, especially on like running the business side. You know, when we go through those hills and valleys of being busy, being slow. I mean, he's been through it all over 25 plus years. He's seen so many things throughout the years with the shop. But the journey's been a great learning experience. And I'm just lucky to have so much support around me with my in-laws and Luke. So it's been great. I'm looking forward to the future. It's
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Haley, how about you?
I'm going to say the journey has been great, but there's definitely been some ups and downs. I think as you like progress and start to succeed a little bit more than you were in your career, you start to lose people as well, which I think like you do that in any stage of your life. And unfortunately, I've never really touched on this, but I've lost some friends, some family because of doing some of these things that I've been doing. which is unfortunate, but you learn who your people are. And I think that's just something you have to overcome and realize that like you have to keep doing what you want to do and do it for you and not worry about what other people are thinking. And other than that, the journey's been great. I love the growth. I'm that type of person who is constantly looking for the next thing. So once I achieve something, I'm like, well, what's next? What can I do next? I love where I'm at, and I couldn't see myself anywhere else. So it's been great so far.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry that you've kind of gone through that. I think that's a pretty valid point to bring up. Sometimes the industry that you work in and the things that you have to do and travel and work is a really big priority, and it can be tough on friendships and families and things like that. So keep striving along, girl.
Mhm.
We will not leave your side.
I know
You're
that.
not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
No,
I think you learn that though. Like you get married and you lose people. You
right, yeah.
It happens in every stage of life. So it's just navigating through that can be difficult. But other than that, journey's been great.
Journey's been good. I'd have to say the same. Journey's been good. No real complaints, to be honest. I think personally, for sure, since I started manufacturing, I've battled this injury that I keep referring back to. That's kind of a lifelong thing that you know I had to try to not let affect my work, and a lot of things going on. And manufacturing has been something that's been steady and exciting, and something that I love and have a passion for, despite anything else that might be going on. So I appreciate manufacturing for kind of just lifting me up and giving me something to look forward to every day. So I love it. The journey's been great, and I'm just excited to continue along the path. So yeah. Next question. I love this question. What advice would you give to young women considering a career in manufacturing? So Haley, go for it.
I say this all the time because I was the shy girl who was in my shell. I say this all the time, but my high school graduating class was 45 people. I didn't venture out anywhere past that when I was younger, and I think that really hindered me in a lot of ways because I didn't go and do what other people were doing. But I think getting out of your comfort zone and realizing that there are things that you can do, even though you didn't think you could do it. You should have seen me at 17 years old trying to give a presentation in front of the classmates I've known since I was 5. I couldn't do it. And now I'm sitting here on podcasts and at trade shows talking to people I don't even know. So definitely step outside your comfort zone. Don't stay in one spot, because if you do, you're never going to succeed. Or not never going to succeed, you won't be able to get where you want to in life. So don't stay in that comfort zone. Just don't be afraid to try new things.
I love that. Rachel, how about you?
Oh, I really have to just ditto what Haley said. Just don't put yourself in a box. Make yourself open to new experiences, new things. Believe it or not, they might even tie back. I mean, like we've talked before, kind of my cosmetology background, and I've always, like, being a trainer, I've always wanted to know about what was in the product, what makes it different, how is it made, and then seeing all these parts being made from this metal or some type of plastic or what have you, and then the purpose that it has once it's done. I mean, it's pretty dang cool. And then in manufacturing too, I would say it's not just working on the shop floor. I mean, as you can see, there's lots of different positions women can have and offer in this industry, and just add a well-roundedness to the environment. You have a lot that you can offer within manufacturing, and just don't make yourself open. Be open to new experiences, meeting new people, face your fears.
You guys
just do
nailed it with both of those. The only other thing that I would add is, if someone told me one time, forget who it was, I wish I could give them credit for this, but if you can see it, it's possible. And just like when I was young and it was like I was a gymnast and I would watch Shawn Johnson and Nastia Liukin and all the girls nowadays watching Simone Biles, if you can see it, somebody did it and it's possible. So young girls, young women in high school and college, you see Haley, Rachel, me, and plenty of other amazing women in the industry. You can see it. It's happening. We love it. And just don't be afraid to get out there and have some confidence and go kick some butt.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes women are like, oh, I don't know. Like, no, get out there and go kick some butt. Like, when I tell my cheerleaders, like, I get all up on them. I mean, like, literally, they probably think I'm nuts. But I tell them, I'm like, what do you want? the only thing that you can control are your actions and how you go about attacking them. So
Mm-hmm.
get out there, attack your dreams, regardless if it's in manufacturing, not in manufacturing. We would love you in manufacturing. We know that you will love it in manufacturing. But if you're afraid about getting in the industry, if you're not having the confidence, just look at people like Haley and Rachel. You can come in this industry, you can really kick some butt. I always say kicking butt and taking names, and you can definitely do that. If you can see it, it's possible. So that's what I got to say about that. What about this one? Has technology helped your careers in the manufacturing industry, and how?
What type of technology are we talking about?
Yeah. Technology
I
as
don't
far
know.
as, what do you think? Do you mean?
Has technology? I would say, I mean, I'll just go based on like the technology that I use to perform my job.
Right.
Yes, it would be. I mean, technology as a whole. I'm not an expert in machining or metrology or automation or anything like that. Like running the machines and stuff. But in terms of the technology that I have to use to perform my job, yes, many things that I do wouldn't be possible without technology, like automated email blasts,
Mm-hmm.
being able to have a CRM, like that's technology where you can reach all your customers, obviously social media, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Premiere. A lot of the videos and the graphics and all the things that we do wouldn't be possible. We'd still be handwriting things and printing things and things like that. So the technology that I use on a day-to-day basis, really, I don't know how I would do my job without it. What
Yeah,
about you guys?
I'm gonna piggyback off that and say that like if they're talking about technology, I can bring up AI, I guess.
Yeah.
AI has helped a lot. I don't know if you guys use this, but there's an application I use when I want to make little smaller pieces of content that breaks it up for me and pulls out the content and they'll rate it like at a percentage. It'll be
Really?
like this shows this and this is why we think this is good content to post. And that just really helps me because sometimes I get too busy and I can't put in the time to spend on Adobe Premiere and be like I can cut up this stuff. Like I like sometimes it's just easier to put it into an application that's going to do it for me, and then I can go through and dial back and go through all that stuff. So AI has helped a little bit, honestly. A lot of people are against it. I think that a lot of people are afraid of change, but I think that that can help us in a lot of ways. As a photographer, I can't tell you how helpful it's been for me. So I definitely use that in a lot of areas. So that technology evolving is definitely helpful in some ways.
Awesome. Rachel, what about you?
Yeah, and the AI stuff I haven't dabbled in too much, but what you just mentioned would be really helpful some days, I think, for, just content production. Because, yeah, I mean, it takes some time for sure. Um, but as far as technology goes and what I do, obviously social media is great. But even just the inspection tools that we use, I didn't even know existed. Like, all of the instruments that we use to just inspect our parts, they're pretty cool. Like, pretty neat way. I mean, and they're intricate, and because we have to look at majors and minors and depths and it. So all these tools that Luke whips out, they're pretty dang cool. So technology that way, it's great. And I think it's pretty exciting stuff. But yeah, the day to day. I mean, I'm gonna get to know QuickBooks real soon here, and I think that's a plus when it comes to bookkeeping and whatnot. Because being a small business too, I mean, having the budget to have someone do all that for us is not going to happen. I want to learn it, so we'll just tackle that when we're ready. But anyway, so yeah, I think modern day technology is great. I mean, my in-laws still have a Rolodex. Thank goodness we don't use that on a daily basis. So I am thankful for address books and things I can just pull up on my phone and Google Calendar and things like that. So that Rolodex is something else. So
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, last question. Becca wants to know, please share power of connections and collaborations. Um, I would say so. Many of you know my dad, Willie Eichele. He's him and I are like this, and I look up to him a lot. He's a huge role model for me, and he always told me connection is key, relationships are key, and that's how he's been able to build the HEH group starting with one company in 2009 to partnering with Bob and Jim Haggerty, and now they have 4 companies and they're representing, major brands like Mazak, Mitsubishi, EDM, Hydromat, Mitutoyo. And without relationships and connections and learning from other people and learning from people that you may not even know that you could learn from something from, the HEH group might not be where they are today. And so because I have that great example in front of me, I know that creating relationships are key. And just this is a perfect example here with Haley and Rachel. It's been a great bond, something that even if we have a bad day, it's like, oh, hey, anybody else having a bad day like we did last week? And we talk about it, whatever. And, sometimes certain relationships lead to sales and opportunities, and other times other relationships lead to maybe sales and opportunities, or ways to expose yourself in a positive way in the manufacturing industry, but also a friendship and support. So the power of connection, I think, can really, really change your life. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Oh, absolutely. I have to say there's a machine shop that's run by one of Luke's really good friends, and his dad started it, who actually got my father-in-law, Luke's dad, started in machining. So, they have both great shops, and then their sons are now running it, right, which is pretty cool. But just by word of mouth, if you say this guy's name, everyone knows, and they always say, he's such a great guy. He is so smart. He's so busy. Now look where he's taken this machine shop. Because he's really good at making those and keeping those relationships. He's one to take them to lunch, to talk with them on the phone, talk to them and see how business is going. Just being that friend and that support over so many years, people just remember that. So yeah, absolutely. Having those people that just are really good at making those and keeping relationships in business is going to do you a lot of good in the long run. Great word of mouth. You build a trust. This guy's great. And I absolutely, his name's Ken. He's amazing. Great guy. Another great influence. But yeah, I absolutely agree. Making those and keeping those relationships super important. Absolutely.
Awesome. Haley, why don't you wrap it up for us?
I definitely think that connections are super powerful. The people you meet and the relationships you build in any business, no matter what you're doing, is super powerful. It can help you a lot. For IQ specifically, our chief operating officer has been in the industry since he was 17 years old. So he's been able to bring like the connections that he met in high school when they had shop classes, because they don't do that anymore. Like he's got friends from school who own companies that we use now. Or he's been at plenty of shops where people have broken off and started their own companies. So they're able to pull that in. So those connections are really important. And then with like partnerships within business, it's proving to other people that you're not competing with each other. You're able to help each other. You're able to put your stuff out there and help the other company as well. So I think that's super important. That's one reason I'm super thankful for LinkedIn. When people are like, oh, you're on LinkedIn, you're doing this on LinkedIn, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that on LinkedIn. You need to get on there too. Like, it's so helpful. And I think that it's one of the reasons a lot of companies can build success is from doing that.
Absolutely. You guys nailed it. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. This episode was totally different than anything that we ever done. So if you are listening, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments if you like episodes like this, and maybe we will do future Q&As with Haley and Rachel or other guests or whatever we might get into. I hope that you guys have a blessed holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. This episode will be coming out on December 1st. So make sure you give it a watch, share it with a friend. And don't forget, let's bring American manufacturing, bring the muscle back to it. Thank you guys. You guys have anything else to say to wrap it up?
We love you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for all the support and just really being a friend to us and making us feel welcome within the industry. Just wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And thanks for the great questions. This episode was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the support. The podcast and all of our platforms wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you. We love you and have a blessed holiday season. Signing off, Manufacturing Muscle.